All right, it's the Down Beach Buzz podcast for July 18, 2024 with Sherry Lilienfeld. She's right there, and she's from eXp Realty. Sherry Lilienfeld, also known as Sustainable Sherry. The show is also sponsored by Paul Skollich of Guaranteed Rate. You can find him at rate.com. And that's the opening slide, July 18th. We're covering the news of Ventnor, Margate, Longport, Lower, Chelsea, portions of Atlantic City we love. Ms. Sher, if I could give you a quick rundown on the things that we're going to try to talk about today, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So there's some really good articles in the Philadelphia Inquirer. Amy Rosenberg, a great journalist, she does a great story on the softening Jersey Shore rental market and how things have changed. The economy is affecting even the bougie towns of Margate and Ventnor and Avalon and Ocean City. So we'll discuss that. I'm bummed out that Taco Cat closed their location there on Essex Avenue next to Down Beach Deli, across the street from my favorite place to go meet my mayors. That would be Colmar Hardware. Taco Cat's still doing the food truck thing, which is cool, but we'll talk about maybe why the heck with a super awesome, long lines all the time, fairly inexpensive eatery, why would they just stop and shut down in the middle of an awesome record-breaking summer? Code enforcement in Margate. Code enforcement. Why did a 30-year veteran fall down an elevator shaft? You think they'll talk about that tonight at the Margate commissioners meeting? Were those fines paid for people building stuff without proper permitting or proper insurance or proper paperwork? I don't know. And the Atlantic City Air Show, they got canceled for the second time. The Beer Fest, gone. Beach concerts, gone. What's going on, Sherry Lilienfeld? And you think that's enough to chew on?
Lot.
I know,
that's
it really is.
A lot.
Click on this guy. The show, the program, the Down Beach Buzz podcast, also brought to us by Energy SSI, serving Ventnor, Margate, and Longport, and all the areas around there. Energy systems like home heating, air conditioning, pool heaters, water heaters. Go to energyssi.com. Back on May 15, they dug into this whole developer Baglivo thing in regards to the Margate Gardens complex down there closer to Longport. John Scott Abbott, the esteemed solicitor, he was digging into it. Mr. Baglivo, a well-known, very successful developer, having some issues with, do we have 6 apartments? Is there 12? Do I need permits for that? We'll get into that. And of course, Mayor Collins has a lot on his plate. So does his dad, Tom Collins. He's the guy that runs the planning board. They're going to dig into this, and they're going to literally hire another attorney to handle this issue. Is that kind of surprising, Sherry Lilienfeld of EXP? What do you think?
I mean, I'm not surprised. Look, it's a lot of work, right? And it's a big job. You know, I know the solicitor has a role, but I don't know. I think that this expanded beyond what his typical role is. So, I mean, I wouldn't be totally alarmed. I think it's great that they're hiring someone else to take this on and to really address it.
So there have been reports, and you can see right there that some developers are doing stuff without the authorization or permission by code enforcement in Margate. Building a second level that was supposed to be for storage, but it's being used by a business. I don't think it's happening now, but they're building stairwells. Some developers just seem to think that they don't really need to follow strictly the rules or the application permitting and so forth. Sherry Lilienfeld of EXP, let me just read let me give you an overview, okay?
And you know I am going to attend this meeting so I can report what happens, because as you know, you can't get live Zoom. You can get the feed, the sound feed, but I will be there. And I can report on it at the next podcast.
On the agenda for the Margate Commissioners meeting this evening, which is July 18th, they're going to try to vote on a resolution awarding a professional service contract to Dottie McCrossan to be special legal counsel in the Margate Gardens complex matter. That's the 6 or the 12 apartments plus some great retail. The retail, the wine and spirits and Revel, the exercise place. These are great business tenants, but they're in a precarious situation. And of course, all of this stuff, the Margate Gardens complex, it's been well documented with Baglivo, Mr. Baglivo, the successful developer. So the question remains, why does Margate need services of a special legal counsel, since city solicitor, the esteemed John Scott Abbott, has been handling the matter since it was initially discovered a few months ago? Think long and hard about that. Let's go to the next slide here.
Well, why do you think? Well, why do you think?
Well, maybe this slide will give us a clue. These are some folks that provide some input, and these are not facts per se, but they are things to consider, especially since the meeting is tonight. And if you're a Margate taxpayer, a resident, or anybody that cares about the municipal management of a great city like Margate, you may want to go to tonight's meeting, Margate Commissioners meeting, July 18th. So usually local governments, they appoint a special legal counsel whenever, based on these conditions. Well, if the matter requires an attorney with specific and unique expertise in the case, in this case, it's rather a straightforward matter that Abbott, John Scott Abbott, the solicitor, has been handling since day one, since the issue has been discovered. And between himself and the city's construction office, the municipal engineer, they, by themselves, should be able to handle and determine if any violations took place. For some reason, they have all the skill, but for some reason, they're reaching out to a third party. So once again, a permit was issued for a project with certain requirements, and the city has to determine if those requirements were followed and satisfied, or if there were violations. It's pretty straightforward. So why does John Scott Abbott and Mayor Collins, why do they got to reach out and hire another attorney? Why is that?
It could be the length. It should be straightforward. It sounds straightforward, but it probably isn't straightforward. And I would imagine Mr. Baglivo is pushing back hard, and it's taking an excessive amount of time. And that's probably why they want to hire someone. Have you looked at, I don't know who Dottie McClellan or whatever her name is. What is her expertise? Did you go on her site?
I am going to share that with you momentarily.
Oh, see, two great minds that think alike. Yes.
So when they go to pass the resolution tonight to hire Dottie McCrossan, the attorney from Ocean City, who will be paying her fees?
The taxpayers.
And would you be one of them? You'll be chipping in for that, I would assume, since you're a Margate resident. That's good. That's good to know. So everybody listening, if you're a Margate resident, you're going to be paying for a third-party attorney to handle this situation. Why is that? That's rhetorical. Sherry Lilienfeld of EXP.
I'll know more tonight after the meeting. But yes,
sustainable Sherry.
What her area of expertise is.
Here we come. The next slide. I did a little homework last night.
Oh.
So another reason why Margate might need a special counsel and to hire them would be if John Scott Abbott, our esteemed Margate solicitor, had a conflict. Apparently, he had no conflict since he's been handling this matter since the issue was discovered. That's why it's a head scratcher. But if John Scott Abbott, the esteemed solicitor of Margate, if he had a conflict, Mr. Abbott would have publicly announced right away that a conflict was here at the onset of the situation, and a special counsel would have been acquired at that time, not several months later. That's a very good thing to ponder and to chew on for a little bit. So as we finish up here, hopefully we'll answer Sherry Lilienfeld's questions here. Clearly neither of these conditions reflect the current situation in Margate. So the questions remain. Why now does Margate City need special legal counsel to handle the Baglivo issue? The resolution they'll discuss and vote on tonight provides no insight into the need. So hopefully Mayor Michael Collins and the commissioners, Maury, I like to call him Maurice, and Kathy Horn, and Mr. Abbott, they will address this at the meeting tonight. That's July 18th, 2024, because the public needs to understand why this is taking place. And finally, Sherry Lilienfeld, Dottie McCrossan is the longtime city solicitor for Ocean City, along with being the personal lawyer for Ocean City Mayor Jay Gillian, despite the obvious conflict. Somebody wrote this, so once again, this is just conjecture. Her firm, McCrossan and Stanton, specializes in real estate related to legal matters in the Ocean City area. I thought first off, John Scott is a pretty smart guy. He has all the skills. Why do we have to reach out to Ms. McCrossan? And who's paying Ms. McCrossan's bill if they pass this? Who again is going to chip in for that?
Margate residents.
And who are you? One of them?
I am indeed.
Do you have any limit on any cap on what you'd like to spend, or unlimited, blank check for Ms. McCrossan?
That's a really good question.
I put it right on you. I have to remind you that you're the boss.
Guess this is really good food for thought for when I attend the meeting to have some of these questions answered. And again, like what you said, I would hope other Margate residents attend this meeting. It's really important. I'm always amazed when I go to council meetings, because I go to them in different municipalities for different things, that there's hardly anybody there ever. People really, it's such an education going to these meetings, if not for anything, to know what's going on in your town and to know how your money's being spent, and to actually see the decision makers, in action while they agree to doing these things.
Oh, you know why a lot of people don't show up? They have no idea what's on the agenda. And when they do change the meeting times, they don't have to, they use the newspaper. They use the Newark Star Ledger or the Camden Courier Post or Times or whatever, or the Philadelphia Inquirer. They don't send out email blasts. They bury it somewhere in the site. So people don't even know what's going to be discussed. And if they do write something, a resolution or a vote, they use kind of weird language, kind of, cryptic language, or they bury it deep within the consent agenda with 20 other items.
Well, no, I mean, they do. It is. I always call it like the code, like if you go to planning board, they say, well, we want to take lot number this, and this, and exchange it for that. Nobody knows what that means. Like, it's not in layperson English ever. So to meet the legal criteria, they promote the agenda or what's on the agenda, but nobody understands it. And it's not promoted, as you say, in the right places where people are actually going to hear about it, because they're not reading those publications and they don't go. But once you kind of get into it, you know where to go. You go on the website and they publish it on the city website. Then you can look at the agenda and you can decide if you want to go. But I think people should go. It's every 2 weeks on a Thursday. And to your other point that you've made so many times, they should live Zoom these so people can comment. And more people need to stand up and comment on that. The reason I don't is because usually when I go, I'm complaining about a bunch of other things. So I don't want to be the only person that's saying, you need to do this, you need to do that, let's do this. Why isn't Margate doing this? I'm going to leave that to somebody else, but I will ask them about this, why they're hiring this attorney. If they
and can you take some notes? I got some other tasks for you to accomplish tonight. If I could share them with you. Sherry Lilienfeld of VXP Realty, also known as Sustainable Sherry. And of course, this is the Down Beach Buzz podcast for July 18, 2024.